Hey guys, I'm Grace, and this is Dollies and Dread. This week we are here with my bestie bae, Ari. Ari, say hi.
Hi.
So this week I have a really big case next week. So this week I made the executive decision to just do some Reddit stories, and these are not like the first one that I did. I think we've got a little like true, not paranormal, and then we've got some paranormal. We've got a little bit of everything. This is more just like a fun one. I'm not gonna lie, mostly to like maintain my consistency, to show everybody that like I'm doing the thing, you know? Mm-hmm. So we have 4 stories. This one's probably gonna be a little longer, so buckle up. We're gonna just jump right into it. True story time. I was about 4 or 5 years old. My parents had just separated. My mom was living in a 2-bedroom apartment. I had my own room, but I preferred to sleep in her bed whenever I was staying with her. Our 2 bedrooms were at the end of a hallway directly across from each other. Our apartment was on the 1st floor, and I remember that it was in the middle of summer, and my mom had a window open in her room, which was directly behind the bed above the headboard. Anyway, I woke up in the middle of the night and remember sitting up and seeing that our cat was sitting in the doorframe of my mom's room. Her door was open and you could partially see into my bedroom. This was strange because our cat was typically always in bed with us. As I was watching him, he walked into my bedroom and meowed. I turned to face my mom and wake her up. In the 3 or 4 seconds it took her to wake up and ask me what was wrong, we both looked back up in the doorframe and there was a man standing by my open door, making his way out of my bedroom. I still don't know how she managed to do it so quickly, but my mother proceeded to pick me up and literally throw me out of the screen window.
Oh my god.
We're gonna quick pause here. I'm not gonna lie, I did all of this last night at like 11 p.m. like scoured Reddit because I was like, if I don't do this now, I'm not gonna have anything. I very like just half read these, so a lot of my reactions are me reading it for the first time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm doing my best here, guys. Okay, next week's case, it'll make sense why I was a little lacking on this one, but oh my god.
Through out of the screen window?
Okay, jump right back in. Alright. Literally throw me out of the screen window. Again, we were on the 1st floor and it was maybe a 3-foot drop to the ground. She quickly followed and we were able to start screaming for help, and someone called 911. The police came but didn't see any signs of forced entry, only that our front door was unlocked, which led them to believe the man must have exited that way. The strange thing was that my mom swore up and down that she had locked the door that night with the deadbolt and chain lock. About a week later, she was cleaning the kitchen and opened up our water heater closet and found a notebook with names and drawings, as well as a pair of gloves and some gum wrappers. The police were called again, but all they could do was speculate that the man had been in our house and hid until we were asleep.
No, thank you.
They edited to add, just to clarify, our apartment was on the ground level, so my mother didn't hurl me into potential paralysis, just a 3-ish foot drop to grass.
I can't.
Yeah.
I don't like, that happens so much too. Like,
yeah,
when people...
what's it called? I just watched a movie. I watched a movie with it. Oh my gosh, it was such a good movie. What was it? That's like,
aren't those like also technically like squatters? Like people
yeah,
who, like,
pretty much. Like they'll like people's food will start disappearing and stuff, and they'll like find out some homeless person or whatever, whoever, some like crazy person's like living in their attic or their basement or something. They had no idea. Just like crawling out of the air vent.
It's terrifying.
That's awful. That's so scary. The fact he was hiding.
It makes me think like I'm the type of person where when I hear stories like this, I think if there's like someone hiding somewhere in my house, like that's how my mind works. Like I just can't disconnect because these people, how would they know? Like I don't know, but you know? Yeah.
So the most me, like that I relate so hard. Chucking the kid out the window, that would so be me. Are you kidding? Like, yeah. Which my windows are a little higher, so I don't think that'd be my reaction. But like, what a badass mom. Just immediately like, just plop right out the window. And then to like follow it, that's amazing. Go mom. Yeah. Moms are great.
Right, yeah.
Whole different breed.
I just think about like how, because you know, you have to throw a kid with a certain amount of force for them to go through the screen.
Okay, so I don't know where we ended. I got off on a like 4-minute long tangent. Something else, and I'm just gonna cut it. So, but we are jumping right back into story 2. So this one is our first paranormal one. This one's like super short. This one will be like 30 seconds or something. I don't know. And then 3 is pretty long. 4 is the longest, but okay. I was sitting in my room after getting out of work on the 2nd floor. Little bro is downstairs watching TV. The dog is in the hallway outside my door sleeping. All of a sudden, the dog starts making all kinds of racket, jumping around, barking, clacking nails, howling. I go to get up to see what's up, and I hear, "Aw, that's a good girl," in a male voice. It didn't sound like little bro, so I go, "Oh, you're home early," thinking it's my dad's friend / our roommate as I open the door. As soon as I'm out there, there is no one at all but the dog wagging her tail, staring at the empty end of the hallway. Little bro comes upstairs to yell at me for getting the dog riled up, and he said he heard the same voice thinking it was me or our roommate. We did a once-over of the house with my butterfly knife, and there was nobody. Still gives me the spooks to this day. The butterfly knife, that's out of pocket.
Wait, but like, what did they think that was gonna do if it was like paranormal?
I don't know. Well, I don't think they did. Which, I mean, I don't blame them. My first thought would be like, oh my god, somebody's in my house. Like, my first thought's not, a ghost. I say that as if that's not actually my first reaction, because there's literally the closet behind me where I record in my bedroom from whenever I was younger in high school. I recorded in my parents' house because they got like a fancy office and stuff, you know.
Yes.
I literally keep a Bible on top of the doorknobs because that closet's haunted. I don't care. I will die on this hill. Too much has happened surrounding that closet for it to not be haunted. We'll save that for another day. But
personal story,
no, I'm not gonna lie. I probably would be like, oh, it's a ghost. And the robber would be like hiding in my closet like, oh, sucker.
I feel like this can go back to like the first story in a way, because like I probably would think that it was something like a situation like the first story instead of like a ghost initially. Like I would probably, I'm more prone to thinking that it's just people being crazy and weird than like paranormal.
Yeah.
My first thought isn't like paranormal. Well, in my heart it is, but in my mind it isn't.
Yeah. I said that about the ghost thing. Whenever we first bought our house, and this is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. It's not, but it's up there. I went to go check on the house because we hadn't moved in yet. So like we were like working on it, working on bedrooms and stuff. And I went to go, I don't know, do whatever 2021 Gracie was doing. And I walked into the door, not into the door. I walked through the door. I walked through the door and like everything's torn apart. We have no flooring. That was the first thing we did when we bought our house was redo the whole flooring. And I hear, oh, that scared me. The air kicked on. I hear this really loud bang. I mean, loud. Like, sounded like someone knocked something heavy off, like 5 or 6 foot off the ground. Or hit something, or I didn't know. And I said, hello? And like, listen, I be into true crime enough that I was like, not me. Yeah. Not on this fine Friday.
Not today.
I called 911. I called Cody first and my mom. They were both like, call the police? Like, worse, they'll come check it out. And I was like, I'm gonna get murdered. And called 911. And my mother-in-law works close to my house. And so she speeds over. She's a dog groomer. So she goes, I brought my grooming scissors. And I was like, Carrie, what are the grooming scissors gonna do against somebody in my house? The cops show up, they're like tucking and rolling out of their cars. There's like 6 of them. They have strapped. I mean, they're going, and I know they were like, I was like, they go through, they were like, lady, there's nobody in your house. And I was like, I mean, good. Don't sass me like that. I was scared. Okay, so story 3. These stories still stick with me. I grew up in a house on Long Island in the town of Brentwood. It was a quiet town for its location. My dad worked as a taxi driver at the time, which meant he would usually end up coming home early in the morning and I would greet him. So it's Saturday, I'm watching cartoons and my dad comes in and I run to say hello. My mom hears us from the bedroom and says, hello honey, don't go in the pool, it's not ready yet. Me and my dad think, well, that's weird, it's 6 a.m. we weren't going in the pool, but just brush it off, and he goes on to tell me his usual stories of the crazies he picked up throughout the night. We then realized it was Saturday and my mom was at work and it was only me and him in the house. The voice sounded just like my mother. Fast forward a couple of weeks, we had just moved into the house, and my new neighbors come over to welcome us to town. It was 2 mothers, 2 sons, one my age, one a little older in 10th grade, 2 little girls, one blonde-haired girl, and a shy brunette that didn't talk. We get to playing some soccer, however the little brunette girl is nowhere to be found. The curious little kid I ran around the property and I find her playing in the woods, a dangerous area for little nooblets to be exploring.
What does that mean?
I don't know. She asks me to come play tag, but I decline, wanting to get everyone in on the game. The reactions of everyone as I asked for them to join us was puzzling, along with the response from the mom, "We only have one daughter." Turns out, a small brown-haired girl drowned in the pool 10 years ago. The mother soon passed from a heart attack.
That was a lot in the last 2 sentences.
Yeah, it really was. It was just like, yeah, so all that, and then also, turns out some chick died. Like, that was not slay, you know?
Yeah, no.
But, like, that's interesting, and maybe it was like, so, you know, it said the mom. Oh, I got the heebies right now. I don't know what I got chills is. I don't know what the deal is. No, Jesus help. Okay.
I pray a little.
Yeah, just...
I don't even have a comment for this story. Like, it's literally just what it is.
It's giving flesh pedestrian. Hello, honey. Don't go in the pool. It's not ready yet. Like, that I would have been like, we don't have a pool. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah, that's creepy. But it's like, sorry, I was killing a bug on my computer. Get off. Just pop this.
It reminds me of the story I was telling you the other night. I'm not going to give context, but you know what I'm talking about, I hope. Yeah. The one about, like, the basement, everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's so creepy. Like, I hear that all the time, and I think spirits, if you believe in them, I think that, like, they show themselves to kids more because kids are more open to them. Like, I have so many stories. I believe in spirits. I believe in all that. But, like, right. I have so many stories. I have enough stories from my childhood that I can't not believe. Like, it's irrefutable to me, some of the stuff that's happened to me and happened to my husband. Like, I want to do a podcast episode. Like, I want to do a Dollies and Dread of just me and Cody talking about, like, our childhood. Cody's are way scarier than mine. I mean, horrifying, some of them. I think he's seen a Wendigo, which is really scary. That is one that we will talk about. Okay. Yet again, went on a tangent. This is just our whole friendship. This is just how we are. I'm doing my best. So if it's choppy between stories, I apologize. I'd rather it be choppy than be a 2-hour long episode of just me and Ari talking.
I feel like people would subscribe.
Yeah, unsubscribed for that one. Okay, so story 4 is the longest, and I think it's the most intense. Like I said, I was skimming these, y'all. I was so tired. I was like, it's my bedtime. Past my bedtime. It's freaking me out. This air kicking on and off is... Ugh, I don't like it. Okay. Ooh, I got the heebies. Okay. Story 4. I have a few paranormal events that happened all throughout my life. Most of them are pretty tame, but there is one that got to me and still sticks with me today. About 4 years ago, I was ending my freshman year at college. I had lived in the dorms with a kick-ass roommate, pretty much had a great experience altogether. Towards the end of my last semester, something seemed different in my hall of the dorms. We were all still our lively selves, but just walking into the dorms would give you this massive feeling of dread. We all wrote it off as the stress of finals approaching, but it just felt off. Well, one night after studying, I decided to hit the shower so I can just wake up and make my way to class in a few hours. Before I keep going, I should go ahead and set the layout of our hall and the bathroom. Our hall was one of many halls on a single floor. Each hall had 4 rooms that accommodated 2 people each, or a single room for the RAs. The entrance to the halls were massive steel doors with a small window located at one end, and across from it was the bathroom. It seriously felt like a prison block rather than a living quarter for college students. As for the bathroom itself, when you walked in, you were immediately met with 2 sets of sinks, 2 sinks aside, on your left and right, with massive mirrors facing each other and creating that infinite loop of mirrors. Then past that, you had your 2 urinals and a toilet stall on your left and 2 showers on your right. When facing the left set of sinks, you can clearly see into the showers from the mirror if the door is open. And in the right set of sinks, you can see the reflection of the shower. The door of the bathroom was identical to the entrance to the hall, a massive steel frame with a small window that didn't allow for much of a view, with good reason. The door was propped open with a giant wooden wedge that couldn't be moved unless you were really trying to close that door. So back to the story. I'm all alone in the bathroom gearing up to go shower. I throw my change of clothes on the right side sink so that way I can reach around the stall and grab them. Once I set my stuff down, I happen to look up into the mirror. I can see in the distance something almost shimmering inside the shower stall. As I look at it, I notice that it slowly gets closer, like it's jumping from the furthermost layer to the next layer closer. I'm kind of unsettled, but I don't think much of it other than me coming down off of a massive Red Bull, Adderall, and caffeine kick. But it starts transitioning faster. As it gets closer, I can start making out details, but nothing vivid or striking. It's just a dark mass that looks like it's covered in hair. At this point, I'm freaking out hardcore since this thing is getting closer in the mirror and I'm pretty much frozen to this one spot. As it gets to the fourth layer, I get the closest look at this thing I'll ever get, and I regret every minute of it. It wasn't hair, but some kind of long flowing veil. You could see through it partially, but from the torso down, it was just solid black. And the face, I can't describe it. It was clearly human, but at the same time, it was so far removed. There were eyes, they were black, but definitely glowing somehow. I only saw this for maybe a second at the most, but it's burned into my mind forever. Then the lights cut out and I hear the door slam. It's pitch black in the bathroom, so I can't see this thing anymore. I go to open the door, but it won't budge, and then this intense smell of blood hits me out of nowhere, and that's all I remember. I woke up later in the hospital. From what my RA claims, he was on his way to go use the bathroom sometime after this happened, where he found me in the shower stall with my shirt covered in blood from a massive nosebleed. He tried asking me what happened, and according to him, all I could respond with was, "It saw me." And I started freaking out. So he calls an ambulance and they get me to the hospital. All the while, I'm apparently freaking out, so they sedate me to get me to calm down. I'm coming to around the time my parents show up, worried sick, of course. I asked them what happened, and according to the doctors, they believe I had a seizure. However, they ran CAT scans soon after I was cooperative enough to do so and found no sign of any seizure occurring. Not to mention, epilepsy doesn't run in my family at all, and having taken Adderall countless times in the past, and since then, I've never had a similar side effect, neither hallucinations or potential seizures. To this day, I still can't bring myself to look into a mirror for more than a minute, and just being stuck in a room with one for an extended period will cause me to break down. I've been to therapy going on 3 years because of this, and I've talked to countless religious leaders who, besides giving me the general, "Well, you should turn to God in times like these," talks, don't recognize that kind of pattern as anything demonic or evil. And the strangest thing is that before the incident, there were no actual claims of activity in those dorms, and since I left, there hasn't been any either. It was just that one isolated incident. Okay, so I have many thoughts. Super creepy. Also, when he said, just walking into the dorms would give you this massive feeling of dread, I felt that, but that's just college. That was unrelated. Unrelated to anything spiritual. I walked into my dorm and I was like, man, I really don't want to be here.
This place sucks.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 would rather be anywhere else. But on a serious note, my friend that just stayed with me long term, I think it was her. Somebody, I'm pretty sure it was her. It was TT. She asked me one night, like, because we just slept in my bedroom. Cody was on a couch at this time because his foot was hurting so bad. So he just hung out there, and me and TT would watch like scary movies and mess around on our phones, whatever. One night she goes, "Are you scared of mirrors?" And I was like, "Why do you ask?" And she was like, "Because I leave the bathroom door open." And for reference, my bed is like right across from the bathroom. So it's a direct look into the mirror. I sure am. I am terrified. I don't know if that's a phobia. I have a genuine fear of mirrors. Like, just walking by one, fine, whatever. But you will not catch me dead sleeping with an open door looking into a mirror. Are you joking? Yes, I'm scared of mirrors. She was like, "Well, I noticed that you close the bathroom door anytime you walk by and it's open." I said, "Yes, ma'am, I sure do." I don't
Yeah.
like mirrors, and they freak me out. You can find plenty of like stories, podcasts, everything about mirrors specifically, just being like dimensions. Like that is a no-no. That is a
Right.
no-no. You do not. Which of course, rational people are not gonna be like, oh, we can't do the door and bathroom like this because it's a spiritual
dimensions.
naughty. Yeah, but it's like that. Have you ever stood in somewhere where they have mirrors across from each other?
I don't think I have.
I
Actually.
have, and it is
I think it's
freaky. Like looking, it's like, oh wow, that's so cool. And I think whenever this person, I think it was a dude, whenever he was talking about the layers, I think he's saying like, literally, you can count how many times it's reflected back in itself. So I think whenever he was saying jumping through the layers, it's like it was like jumping through dimensions or something. That's freaky. I mean,
that.
I am gonna chalk this one up. It was a combination of the Adderall, Red Bull, and whatever else he said. And he just, caffeine, extra caffeine. Probably just like blacked out and busted your face on a sink or something. But like,
I just wonder if the Adderall was like recreational, or because if he was taking
I
it
don't know, because he said that he had been on Adderall then and since. So I think he's just ADHD prescribed it. I have been on Adderall. I am.
Right.
This is gonna really surprise some of you. I have debilitating ADHD. That was a joke. If you could not tell, it is so blatantly obvious I have ADHD. It's not even funny. I've been on Adderall. My husband, it has very severe ADHD. He's been on Adderall. Like, Adderall does not, at least to me, to him, my whole family pretty much has ADHD. Like my mom and sister both, for sure. And they have done Adderall, like been on Adderall. And it does not make, at least for us, and I was on like a high dose of Adderall. It does not make you see things. However, Adderall combined with Red Bull, combined with additional caffeine, is not ideal. But like, I'm not gonna downplay what somebody feels like they saw and what somebody 10 years ago or not. I'm not gonna downplay it. I think that's super scary, and I do think mirrors being directly across from each other is bad juju. I think it gives me the heaps. I don't like mirrors on a good day. I don't know why. I just don't. Maybe it's because I've listened to so many scary stories and so much stuff. But look into the lore of mirrors. Maybe we'll do an episode on it someday. I do mainly true crime, but
the fear of mirrors, to jump back like a couple minutes ago, you were saying, I have the fear of mirrors. I wonder if that's an actual like phobia. It is. It's isotropophobia.
Isotropophobia.
It's EISOPTRO phobia.
Hold on. I got it.
Esoptrophobia.
Esoptrophobia. Thanks, Siri.
Oh, that makes more sense.
What did I say? I said isotropa something. I don't know what I said. Anyway, it don't matter.
I don't think you said anything. I said something, and you need to play the Google version next to what I said for comedic relief.
Esoptrophobia.
Isotropophobia?
Maybe it's just human. I don't know. If you have a fear of mirrors and you made it this far into this chaotic episode, comment below and give me, like, is there an experience that you had with a mirror that was like, that led to your fear? Or are you like me and you're just paranoid? Maybe it's just my reflection.
Wait.
I just walk by and I'm like, ooh.
Do you remember like Bloody Mary?
I do, and I remember doing that in the Catholic school bathroom with the other girls when I was little. But that never really scared me. Like, I'm still not about to say. I'm not about to say it after you already said it, because then we only have one more time to say it, and I'm not about that life. But
that could be what it stems from, though.
It could be, but it never. Like, I did it many times as a child, which was really dumb. Don't play with things like that, okay? As a 24-year-old adult looking back, don't play with that stuff. Just don't do it. Yeah. It's not worth it. It's not, like, just don't. For no other reason than you're just going to traumatize yourself. Your brain, if you get bored enough and you're sitting there long enough and you are thinking about something happening long enough, your brain will play tricks on you just to freak you out.
The human mind is crazy.
It is wild. Sometimes it'll scare you for no reason, like just for funsies.
Things you couldn't even imagine. Like, this sounds so crazy, but like, your mind is so much more capable of, like...
Yeah, it'll make things. It's like, I don't care. Your conscious mind can't imagine it, but here it is in your dreams.
Like, I'm gonna sound so crazy when I say this, but like, if I'm feeling like especially skeeved out by something, like a noise or something, my mind forces myself to put a thing. I don't know how to say this to make it make sense. I'm very mentally ill. No, but like,
I felt that.
Like, if I hear a noise and my mind will, like, I have to know where it came from. It can't just be my cats. It can't just be the AC. It has to come.
No, see, I wasn't built like that. Whatever gene that is, I did not inherit that. I was not built like that. You are the girl who's like, oh, what was that noise? And you go to investigate, and then you get stabbed. Now what?
Yeah, I'm like the first
now
person
you got it. Yeah, you'd be Gonzo. I'd be You heard me earlier. I said I heard a loud thud. I called 911, and I said I started to. I was like, it's probably nothing. I should go check. No, and no, I immediately, like, the rational side of me was like, I should go check that out. But then the true crime crazy psycho me, I said, I'm not going back. Nope, that's somebody else's job. It is not my job. I'm not playing with it.
I'm very morbidly curious, but at
the
same time, I'm very paranoid.
I am too, but there are still certain things where I'm like, no, I like that. And I mean, I get it, because I'm sure you're not the only person like that like you have to know what it is for your mind to settle. Because my mind will run. I'm not gonna lie, I'll just lay there. I just pray about it. I start praying until I feel better, and then I go to sleep. Or I make Cody do it. That's why else would we keep men around? That's what you're for. Go open my jar of pickles and go check that quiet, dark bedroom. That's ominous. That's your job. It was in our vows. Don't you remember?
The liminal space. You have to check out the liminal space for me. It's so, like, the human mind is so capable, and that's why some of the stories, I find it hard to believe that they are not. I'm a skeptic, so like I find rationale in, like, even the most plausible of stories.
Right. Well, and see, that was like me right now. I'm very open to it, but I also am very take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? So like that one, I think we can reasonably say, like, while that's very scary, I think we can reasonably say at least a rational explanation would be you just had way too much Adderall and caffeine. So, like, it's, I take it with a grain of salt. I think it could have happened. I think he saw something. Was that something actually a paranormal something, or was that my brain is going to shut down real quick so I don't die from all the things that I just mixed into my bloodstream? Like, you know what I mean? So. Yeah.
Well, I forget there's some sort of, like, and this is, I'm in no way saying that I have any personal experience with this whatsoever, just to preface, but there was this cough syrup or something that was making people see things, or like the Benadryl, like there's a certain.
Oh, I've heard that. That's like a side effect. Don't you hallucinate if you have too much Benadryl? So people take it recreationally. Don't ever do that. Yeah, anyone listening to this, but like, I think that's a thing. I believe it.
Yeah, and I feel like dealing with, I mean, everyone, in my opinion, to a certain extent, deals with different mental health issues, and so when you deal with mental health issues, you're more prone to be like, oh, that's just like a mental health issue because you've experienced things at least somewhat similar to that, even if not to that extent. Or like, oh, that's caused by a rational thing like medication. Because if you've ever taken medicine in your life, you know that medicine has some side effects.
Right. But yeah, that was a lot. I try to stick to the true crime ones. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, ultimately, love you guys. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, but I do want feedback. I want to know what you guys want to hear. These give me a breather because it is just me, like my co-hosts, like Ari. Love you guys. Y'all are great. And I need somebody to discuss it with, but I am doing all the research, the everything on top of doing the dolls, like painting and doing fulfillment and everything, and then also doing my Friday video. Like, it's a lot, so it is nice to work at least one of these in a month. I think I would have done a normal case, but like I said, I have a big one, and I hinted last week, I think I did. Yeah, I hinted last week. I'm gonna hint again. I'm filming it. I'm like recording it in Wichita, and it's a big one. So I'm sure my true crime junkies know which case I will be covering because it's intense. So like I did Reddit stories so I could go ahead and get a jump start on next week.
So exciting.
Yes, I'm pumped. But I hope you guys enjoyed this and let me know in the comments. I mean, I'm sure most people prefer the true crime. I do like these though, and I want to cover things that I think are interesting. So I want to cover paranormal and cryptids and, you know, lore, stuff like that. And I think I said that whenever I first started Dollies and Dread, was that I wanted to cover stuff like that. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode, if you thought it was interesting, if you would like to hear more. If you prefer just the true crime, you won't hurt my feelings if you just don't watch these ones, you know? But anyway, if you want to hear more true crime and scary stories while I work, make sure to like and subscribe. New videos come out every Tuesday. If you have a scary story you'd like to share, you can send that to my Instagram at Dolls&Co. That's Dolls and KOE. Until next time, stay aware and be prepared. Bye!